Chicago Sky, y'all stink, bro. Y'all, look, there's trash and then there's trash. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, the Chicago Sky got destroyed by the stud buds. Everybody watches the stud buds. Shout out to Courtney Williams and Tisha Heiderman, man. Listen, stud buds stood on business today. Nafisa Collier stood on business today. They destroyed the Chicago Sky.
It was supposed to be just another regular season WNBA game, the kind that comes and goes without much noise. But by the final buzzer, it had turned into something entirely different, one of the most viral basketball moments of the year. 9 turnovers, a crushing blowout loss, and a fan base that didn't just criticize, they erupted. What followed wasn't the usual post-game disappointment. It was an explosion of reactions, debates, and headlines that spread across social media like wildfire, turning an ordinary matchup into a defining flashpoint of the season.
Had 9 turnovers. Yo, listen, y'all gotta stop with this point forward foolishness, man. Let's take a look, man. Hold on, man. Y'all be wildin'. Y'all be wildin', son. Bruh, come on, man. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop, yo. Y'all gotta stop.
This report examines game footage, verified statistics, public commentary, and relevant past context to understand the moment beyond the headlines. All criticism quoted reflects opinions expressed by media figures and fans, not objective statements of fact. Angel Reese is a WNBA rookie, a former NCAA champion, and one of the most visible athletes in women's basketball today. That level of visibility creates opportunity, elevating both her platform and her influence, but it also invites intense scrutiny, where every performance, decision, and reaction is amplified, analyzed, and debated on a scale most rookies never experience.
The entire WNBA and Angel Reese in garbage time. We saw it. Angel Reese last year against the Fever with like 2 minutes to go. She needed to, I think it was like 6 points and 3 rebounds. And she went and caught like 2 rebounds and then immediately goes at Victoria Saxton.
In this matchup, Chicago struggled defensively from the opening quarter. Minnesota immediately seized control of the tempo, dictating the pace and keeping the Sky constantly off balance. Their pressure defense disrupted passing lanes, forced repeated turnovers, and turned mistakes into fast break points, allowing the Lynx to build momentum early and convert transition opportunities into a commanding lead.
This is after this opponent gets close to her during a box out, grabs her by her hips, and hip tosses her, throwing her to the ground. She stands up, she walks over to this opponent, bends over, screams in her face, and flips her the double bird. That's the WNBA gold. We're going to get into it. And the laughter. Oh, Angel. Oh, my angel. You're my darling. Angel, angel, angel. You've been playing well, Angel. I give it to you. You've been playing well. But every now and then, those stinkers. Oh, man.
Angel Reese finished the game with strong rebounding numbers, continuing to showcase one of her most reliable strengths. But it was the 9 turnovers that dominated the narrative online, quickly becoming the focal point of viral posts and heated debate. Turnovers don't exist in a vacuum. They reveal deeper patterns, often telling a story about team spacing, decision-making under pressure, and how well a player's style aligns with the offensive system around them. More than just a number, that stat sparked questions about court structure, role clarity, and whether the current system is truly maximizing Reese's skill set or forcing her into situations that magnify avoidable mistakes.
Like, there's absolutely no foul in that. He gets a good whistle, jumps up, and then goes at somebody on the other team. Who she go at? She goes at Diamond Miller, her former Maryland teammate. And, like, Angel's 1 tech off a suspension as well. And is like, anytime anyone gets into it with her, she's straight in their face. And I'm like, I don't mind that. But you just gotta be smart. To be fair, this guy sucks, so you might as well just go and take your, I'll say it.
Several of these turnovers came in heavy traffic, moments where defenders collapsed, space disappeared, and passing lanes rapidly shrank. What looked like isolated mistakes to casual viewers raised bigger concerns among basketball analysts, who quickly questioned Chicago's offensive design. Many argued that the system created predictable pressure points, limiting outlets and forcing rushed reads, and they openly debated whether Reese was being asked to operate in situations that sit outside her natural strengths, roles that emphasize playmaking and congestion rather than leveraging her scoring instincts, off-ball movement, and interior efficiency, where she has historically thrived.
Thought she was turning her season around. Just when I thought Angel Reese was graduating from pretend basketball player to make-believe basketball player, the level where it's almost believable that Angel Reese is a basketball player. Just when I thought Angel Reese would pull through in the clutch and do America a favor. With a win last night against the Minnesota Lynx, Angel Reese would have become the most popular player in the WNBA dump. Well, KC, that's simply not possible. Caitlin Clark will always be the most popular player in the WNBA.
But online discourse didn't stop at strategy or system breakdowns. It escalated rapidly. Clips were reposted at viral speed, packaged with exaggerated captions designed for shock value, not nuance. The 9 turnovers turned from a stat into a punchline, fueling memes, hot takes, and ruthless commentary. What began as legitimate basketball analysis about spacing and offensive structure quickly morphed into something harsher: public humiliation. The conversation shifted away from X's and O's, evolving into mockery, personal attacks, and a social media pylon that overshadowed the actual story the game was trying to tell.
Why people are defending this, let's get into it. Nneka Ogwumike, she gets up, proceeds to get boxed out, unable to move her opponent out of the way. Nneka Ogwumike retaliates, grabs her by the hips, throws her to the floor, stands over her, screams on her, flips her the double bird. Quinterly, Dallas Wing's teammate, being a good teammate, gets in the middle of the two, pushes Nneka out of the way like a good teammate should. Instead of saying, Nneka, come here, let me get you a hug. No, get up off my teammate, girl. Get up off my teammate. Nneka Ogwumike can't let it go.
This is the dark side of virality. Once a narrative takes hold, context disappears almost instantly. What starts as a single moment gets simplified, amplified, and repeated until the original meaning is lost. Nuance is replaced by noise, intent is buried under assumptions, and complexity is flattened into a storyline that feels easy to share but impossible to correct. In the age of social media, virality doesn't just spread information, it shapes perception, often leaving truth behind while the narrative races forward unchecked.
When last night, Angel Reese would have surpassed the Rue from Waterloo in popularity. Now, I am not saying that her dozens of aliases would have passed Caitlin Clark, but Angel Reese herself, she definitely would have. Going into the game last night, Cheryl Reed, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, she told the doofus duo who refer to themselves as stud buds, she told them if they lost this game to the Chicago Bravado, they would no longer be allowed to stream on Twitch.
Angel Reese has never been a background player. From her LSU championship run to her bold, unapologetic confidence, she has consistently drawn the spotlight and sparked conversation wherever she plays. Supporters celebrate her presence as swagger, an authentic expression of competitiveness and personality that energizes the game. Critics, however, frame it differently, labeling it a distraction, something that pulls focus away from the court and into controversy. The divide has never been about attention itself, but about interpretation, where the same trait that inspires one side becomes the very thing the other side critiques.
Lads, Angel Reese is currently about to be suspended. She has 7 technical fouls on the season. And if this was last season, in a 44-game season, she would have already been suspended. She would have already been suspended. And it is genuinely one of the funny things about this is that her fans are arguing that none of the texts are warranted. They are.
No discussion about Angel Reese exists in isolation. Since entering the WNBA, she's been continuously compared to Caitlin Clark, a rivalry largely fueled by media narratives and fan debate rather than anything initiated by the players themselves. Many commentators argue that the comparison is unfair, pointing out differences in play style, role, and team context that make direct evaluation misleading. Others maintain that the contrast is inevitable, given their overlapping rise in visibility and the league's expanding spotlight. What remains clear is that the rivalry isn't defined by personal conflict, but by the tension between perception and reality, where storytelling has often moved faster than the athletes shaping it.
Angel Reese, the most toxic player in all of basketball, is out here slapping clipboards out of her coaching staff's hand because she's so mad her team committed a foul in the crunch after she shot 15 free throws this game. This is the lowest of the low disrespect that you can show to your coaching staff. She trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play, and you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap the clipboard out of her.
Stylistically, they play different games, and expectations built on constant comparison can distort evaluation. Caitlin Clark thrives as a high-volume perimeter creator who generates offense through deep shooting, early reads, and pace control, while Angel Reese has historically made her impact around the rim, off the glass, and through physical interior play. When performance is judged through a comparative lens instead of individual role and system fit, development curves get misread, strengths get undervalued, and normal rookie inconsistencies can feel amplified, turning nuanced evaluation into a narrative of competition rather than progression.
What's up, y'all? I just want to talk about this chick, Angel Reese, for a second. She has been all over my timeline, over my Twitter or X, Instagram, TikTok. She's always pushing people and this and that. She's always in controversy. So let me address this situation real quick. How is she a professional athlete? Like, can we step back for a second and just analyze this situation? How in the world is this chick a professional athlete? She is, out of all the clips that I've seen, she is the worst basketball player I've ever seen.
One often overlooked element in this controversy is coaching responsibility. Rookies develop within the framework of the systems they are placed in, and when those systems put a player in disadvantageous positions, mistakes naturally multiply. Multiple analysts pointed out Chicago's cramped spacing, predictable offensive sets, and limited off-ball movement, all of which restricted Angel Reese's ability to operate freely. In such an environment, turnovers aren't simply a reflection of individual error. They can also indicate systemic flaws that place even the most talented players under constant pressure, highlighting the critical role coaching plays in shaping both performance and perception.
Some comments about Angel Reese.
Yeah.
You called her garbage compared to Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love black people. Mwah, 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 mwah. But I think sometimes we do play the race card too much. This ain't racial. This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at
Box scores tell only part of the story. They capture numbers, but not context. Rebounds matter, physicality matters, and hustle counts, yet factors like efficiency, spacing, and decision-making often have a greater impact on winning. Reducing a player to a single bad night or one glaring stat rarely reflects their full contribution or potential. Performance is multidimensional, and understanding it requires looking beyond isolated metrics to see how a player interacts with their team, system, and the flow of the game.